You're listening to 88.7 WLUW Chicago Sound Alliance, broadcasting from the campus of Loyola University. It's live from the Heartland, featuring Michael James, Katy Hogan, and Thom Clark. Today we have 46th Ward Alderman runoff candidate Marianne Lalonde, Irish fiddler and dancer Katy Grennan, and Kelly Demaret and William Smillie, co-producer and lead actor from 30 Miles from Nowhere. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
And we are back. This is live from the Heartland, and that was... Somebody help me out here.
Carolyn's welcome.
Sorry?
Carolyn's welcome. Man of the house.
I don't think so. I think it was second story set.
Yeah, that was the second story set.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Katy Grennan. And that was Katy Grennan and the Little Family Band.
Yes.
At Galway Arms.
Yes.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Where my son will be celebrating his rehearsal dinner.
No way.
When he gets
That's
married
exciting.
at the end of April, yes.
Very cool. They've got
Sorry,
a great
Katy,
room
just had to
upstairs.
throw that in.
Katy Grennan, welcome to Live from the Heartland.
Thank you so much
happy
for
to
having
have you.
me.
We thank Lynn for finding you and your beautiful music. Tell us how you came to be such an aficionado, such an incredible maestro on the fiddle.
Oh, thanks. So I started playing violin when I was young, and also was enrolled in Irish dance class when I was 8. So it was when I started Irish dancing that I really fell in love with the music itself, and I started to learn how to play the tunes by ear. And then just, fast forward 20 years, the more and more I heard the music, the more I kept playing it. And a couple years ago, I was asked to join Gaelic Storm, and so now I'm playing Irish music for my living full time.
For those who don't know, when you were asked to join Gaelic Storm, what's Gaelic Storm?
Gaelic Storm is a huge Celtic band. They got their start playing on the movie Titanic over 20 years ago. Back in 1998, they recorded their first CD. And so they've been on the road for 20 years. I was a big fan of their music when I was a kid. I had all their CDs and, download their music on iTunes or whatever. And it was kind of very surreal to receive a call from them to ask to join their band. Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Pittsburgh, in a town called Wexford. It's about 20 minutes north of the city. I went to school in Indiana at Notre Dame, and then I moved out to Chicago afterward to take a job, and I was actually working in healthcare consulting for a number of years.
Sure, like a lot of musicians
Yeah,
do.
Exactly. But I got sucked into the Irish music folk world once I came out to Chicago, and once I got sucked in, there was no turning back.
You know my cousins, the Dooley Band?
No way.
They're my cousins.
I had no idea.
They're busy this weekend,
Wow.
too.
Oh, they're very busy. Yeah.
And
Now,
I grew
growing
up
up-
with them a block away.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Now,
my
I was in
goodness.
school.
Growing up, did you listen to any other music? Did you hear any rock and roll or any jazz, or are you just an Irish music
No,
woman?
she was under a rock. No, go ahead.
No, I did a lot of classical music because I listened to all sorts. I started with Suzuki, so classical music and Irish music was kind of my thing. But no, I like to listen to all kinds of music.
So when we come out, I have a question about fiddling versus being a violin player. But let's hear some live music. You have your
Sure.
instrument here, and that's why we brought you
beautiful?
here today.
Thank you. Sure, I'll start off with 2 jigs that I composed. The first one is called Tara's Upward Romp, and it was about my collie that passed away a couple years ago, but she had this adorable kind of little walk that she had, so I wrote that for her. And then the second one is called Agnes's Stitches, for Agnes Mahoney, who is a dear friend, who is a great seamstress.
That was great. And welcome to Live from the Heartland. You're joining, we've had a couple other fiddlers on. We had the great Patty Jones, and we had our friend Russ Bradford.
Awesome.
And I think you're probably the best.
Oh, thank you.
That was lovely, both of those, and I also love the backstory behind both songs.
Thank you.
Really
So-
beautiful.
How do you
Thanks.
distinguish between being a violin player and a fiddler?
That is a great question. So I get that question a lot. The quick answer is that violins have strings, fiddles have strings.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Violins have string,
And
fiddles have strain.
Strings. Yeah,
strings.
strings. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Need to
Thank
perfect
you.
my accent there.
Yeah,
but-
you got to do that little strings. I thought it was a trick. Okay.
No. So that's the quick answer, but the more, I guess, extensive answer is that playing the violin is very prescripted. So there's a lot of, you get your sheet music, and that's kind of, once you get that, that's pretty much what you have to play. And with fiddle, there's a little bit more room for interpretation. So the music that you see on the sheet music is really there as a guideline. So you can add your own embellishments in, and you can change up the bowing. There's all sorts of different things you can do to
Like
kind of make it your own.
jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you teach music and dance? And
So-
what age groups?
I teach fiddle out of my apartment, so I teach local students. I have about 10 students locally, and then I also have students that I had from Pittsburgh that I meet through. We meet virtually, so I'll see them on FaceTime.
That's amazing.
And then I teach Irish dance at a local school called the Trinity Irish Dance Academy. And you can see them all over the city
sure.
this weekend. I think they had something like I think their number total was 236 performances from yesterday until tomorrow. So they're
Crazy.
massive school, and yeah, very busy.
Wow.
This time of year for sure.
And how would you describe to others the Irish music scene here in Chicago?
It's incredible. It's really wonderful here in Chicago. There's pretty much any day of the week you can go out and hear and or play live music. There's pubs all over the city that host sessions. Two that I know of that have them 4 or more times a week are Clancy's down in Oak Lawn and the Galway Arms on Clark and Fullerton. So I live close to there, so I frequent that session a lot. But
I was at Clancy's just last week.
Were you
where are
really?
where are you-
Amazing.
Where are you playing tonight?
I'm playing at the House of Blues with Gaelic Storm.
Oh yeah,
so-
a famous Irish place.
Yeah, exactly.
The House of Blues.
Yeah, we turn
And
it Irish
Greens.
for the next
The
2
House
days.
of Green tonight.
Yeah, you should have seen the Sea of Green out in front. We played there last night as well, so it was
God
quite a
help us.
scene.
Really, don't drive, everybody. Just take the L.
I saw a lot of
Uber.
Ubers and a lot of buses. So hopefully
yeah.
that will continue today.
So how often have you made it back to the old country to catch up on what might be going on over in Tralee or Dingle or Dublin in terms of the music scene?
So
Belfast too.
yeah, Belfast is great. So I actually went to Ireland for my first time when I was 7. My grandparents were actually living over there at the time. So I fell in love with the country right from the start. We were in Westport in County Mayo. It's a beautiful place right by the water. And since then, when I was, growing up, I probably went back 3 or 4 times total. And then from college onward, I've been back almost every other year for either a performance or a competition or just to visit relatives. A lot of my dad's family still lives over there. His parents actually immigrated over to the United States when he was a kid. So all his second cousins and everything, there's like almost 100 of them between both sides. So I'm always
It's a lot of
pretty
work
busy.
to visit them once you go
It
there.
is, I know.
I've
It's
got
like-
a lot of cousins, and they are ticked off if you don't see
Yeah.
every single
Oh,
one
I
of them.
know.
And
I'm
I'm
still-
fifth generation, so it's just grave sites I get to visit.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, and that's the
That ended
reality.
that conversation.
Well,
So, what's next? If you survive this St. Patrick's Day weekend, what are you looking forward to next? Next step in your illustrious career?
Well, after our show tomorrow with the band, I actually have a couple months break from Gaelic Storm, which will be nice. We've been on tour since the middle of January, so we were all over the country. And as I mentioned, I teach a lot, so I'm excited to just kind of be back in Chicago and just kind of reconnect with my students more frequently
Cool.
and perform locally.
What's your home neighborhood?
Lincoln Park.
Okay. So who's running for any runoff near you?
Uh-oh. Don't ask me that question. I've been out of the city
right.
for 2 months.
Yeah, it's okay. You
Before-
get to catch up now.
Before we get you to do some
You
more
caught
live,
me.
before we get you to do some more live music, explain for our listeners the difference between a jig and a reel.
That's a great question. So,
Okay, you win, Tom. You got 2 great questions so far. Okay. No. Please.
a jig is what I actually just played right before this, and that is in 6/8 time. So if you are counting it out, if you are listening to the tune itself, you can kind of say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will give you the kind of jig rhythm. Reels are in 4/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's basically it. And then the dances that accompany those 2 types of tunes are very specific. So the jig, you can't miss it. You can almost hear the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reels are a little bit more flowy and open to interpretation on the dancer's end.
I was in Tralee in 2005 when the Tralee Tigers won the Irish Professional Basketball Championship, and we were in a bar on St. Patrick's Day Eve, and there was a guy playing a song, Say You Love Me.
Okay,
Do you know that song?
I think so.
I just wondered if it was a jig or a reel.
Yeah,
But
good
it's a
question.
beautiful tune, and I just remembered the name of it today, so I'm glad. I'm going to look it up.
There you go.
Katy, Grennan, let's hear a little bit more music.
Sure.
Cool. Tell us what we're about to hear.
I'm going to play some reels since Tom
Far
asked
out.
about those.
Excellent.
And there are 3 of them. These are traditional, so they're played all across the world. The first one is called Dr. Gilbert's. The second is called the Earl's Chair, and then the third one is called Siobhan O'Donnell's.
And when we come back, Katy Grennan will be on to her next gig at House of Blues, and we'll hear from some movie folks. So stick with us.
Thank you so much, Katy Grennan, and
Thank you.
the best tonight with
Thank
Gaelic
you.
Storm at the House of Blues. It'll turn green.
Yes.
And thanks for joining us on St. Patrick's Day weekend on Live from the Heartland.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to Live from the Heartland on WLUW 88.7 FM. We're streaming live at WLUW.org. Please like us on Facebook as we hear a little bit more Katy in the background.